It's horrible. I can't even describe.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit.
It just flew into it, into the other tower.
This is a deliberate terrorist attack.
Today we've had a national tragedy.
I was a iron worker and a volunteer fireman in New York City.
The call to serve has no sound, but Jim Stanek heard it. He heard it through the sirens, the screams, and the deafening sound of our hearts breaking on September 11th, 2001.
You know, I think the recruiters saw me coming a mile away, because when I walked in, I was like, I want to be on the first thing smoking overseas.
Stanek did not have to wait long before he got his way, heading to Iraq, part of the Army's airborne infantry.
I got to put on a uniform. I got to serve my country. I got to wear an American flag on my uniform.
And he did that for 3 tours until a hand injury turned into a much more permanent and painful diagnosis.
Got to the hospital, dropped in a think tank, and was told that you have chronic severe PTSD and mild traumatic brain injury.
You just kind of have this big, nasty monster in the room that's PTSD.
Stanek never knows when that monster will take over, because one time it did. And it looked a lot like a scene from a movie that showcased the unpredictable battles with PTSD.
I was in my old bedroom, I was sleeping, and my sister came in and I got startled. And I remember doing something that I regret.
PTSD is haunting hundreds of thousands of our American heroes. According to the National Center for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, 11 to 20% of our veterans who fought in Iraq or Afghanistan will have PTSD. We sent nearly 3 million troops to those wars. So do the math. Can America handle the 300,000 to 600,000 veterans who need help?
Oh, I don't think we're ready.
And you see these astronomical numbers where the PTSD, mental illness, some of the serious problems we're having, they're just going up and up and up.
But there is another part of this potential disaster, one where we're playing catch up.
The Vietnam generation, those guys are my heroes. Those are the guys that I look up to, because they've been carrying the torch now for 40 plus years.
It started in about 1980 that the diagnosis was first recognized. So there didn't exist a diagnosis of PTSD before that.
Dr. Diane Castillo says more Vietnam vets are finally coming to the Albuquerque VA, getting the treatment that was not available years ago. And there are a lot of them. 30% of Vietnam vets will likely suffer from PTSD.
We've got thousands that are now coming back into the system. At the same time, we're bringing back, hundreds of thousands from Iraq and Afghanistan.
Come on.
The conditions are there.
Drop it.
The conditions for the perfect storm. An overworked system. Millions of men and women coming home needing help. A generation that buried the problems, finally accepting them as they rise to the surface. We're aware,
But I've got to go punch PTSD in the mouth,
that it could get bad.
because I'm not going to let it be.
But are we aware of how we can stop it?
I love this country. I love the people in this country. That flag stands for something. And it's not just the red, white, and blue. That flag, that's us. That flag, we all of us are under that flag. And when you take on, that's a responsibility. I really believe that. As an American, you have a responsibility to do the right thing.